Hey friend, are you feeling disillusioned with where you are on your path right now? If, like me, you're feeling discouraged right now, then this reading is for you. Guiding our reading, we have the Journeyman. The Journeyman is very much the same kind of energy as the Fool from the Tarot, with the exception that they have a certain measure of practice and training, right? They are the Journeyman and not the Apprentice. You are somebody who has learned a skill, whether that's, you have learned a business skill, a trade, healthy relationship skills. You've learned something that has allowed you to move forward and act in a way that will bring you growth, that will bring you success, right? Maybe you're feeling a little discouraged right now because, things are still early on. So you want to remember to go ahead and give yourself some self-care. The Queen of Pentacles. This is the Queen of self-care. She knows how to nurture life around her. She knows how to take practical steps to create the security and the wealth and blessings to have in her life in order to share with others. Right? So you have this nurturing, you're putting in effort, growing something you want, and you come into this energy of the Star. Sorry, I have to cover that for YouTube. Alright, so you come into this energy of the Star. You have hopes, you have wishes, you have dreams, you have put the vision out into the universe, and you've started taking practical steps to get to where you're going. You are currently in the Three of Wands energy, okay? You're starting to see these ships coming in. Maybe you haven't gotten, say if you started a business, you haven't made any money yet, but you've noticed people interested in what you have. You've noticed people who want to interact and connect with what you have, or maybe if you're going into a new relationship, you are, you're starting to learn more about the person, the efforts to get to know them, the efforts to share yourself, and this healthy relationship dynamic that you're starting to create, you're starting to see some sort of a benefit from, right? Okay, so you have these hopes, you have these dreams, and even though there's a tendency right now to feel discouraged, I want to give you a message of encouragement, because what's next is judgment. This is supposed to happen for you. You are supposed to experience a new reality. This is a rebirth energy. You came out of something old, something that, a way of life that you don't want to be in anymore, and you have something beautiful, this call, this awakening, that, a purpose that has been put into you, and you want to try to create for yourself. You want to try to create this reality. And the thing of the matter is, you're doing this for yourself. We have the Six of Cups, the nostalgia, the childhood memories, the blessings. What I'm looking at here, we have this young boy, he's giving the flowers to the little girl, right? You, in your conscious, older self, are doing the thing, or creating the thing for your inner child. This blessing, this reality, this rebirth you are experiencing is for the purpose of yourself. You won't be stopped, because this is a matter of personal inner transformation, right? Regardless of whatever the circumstances of life outside, who you are on the inside is changing to be able to become the kind of person to create the reality that you want. Now, we do have to kind of learn to move with the cycles of things, though, right? When we look at this Three of Cups, we have these three women here, each of them, their cups having a different phase of the moon. You recognize that right now where you're at is just a stage of the journey. It's a step along the way. If things seem to be kind of at a low, it's okay. Allow them to be at a low. The moon isn't full forever, it waxes and it wanes. You are currently just in another step along the way. This is part of the cycle. And I get it. It's really easy to want things to move quickly, right? We have this Knight of Swords, the impulsiveness, I have the idea, so clearly I should be able to make it happen just like that, instantly, quick, right? And we get this aggressive kind of energy. Maybe not necessarily aggressive in the sense of like trying to cause harm, but in the the drive, the go, 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 go so hard that we end up pushing just too much on something, you know? And this comes from a perceived sense of lack. We have the Eight of Cups, okay? You have all these things that you've created for yourself, all this, you know, emotional wealth and depth, but you feel like there's something missing. You feel like there's a cup that should be here, that should bring you into this sense of fulfillment, that should bring you this sense of, like, I'm here, I'm doing the thing. You know, perhaps you're looking for some sort of key to take you from where you are right now to somewhere else that you want to be, right? You want to go from A to B to like H to Z. You just want to skip along the path, you know, right? And, you know, the truth of the matter is, though, that there is actually something happening. This is the Ace of Wands. Like I said, the power is within yourself, right? When you look at the Ace of Wands in this deck, you see this DNA strand, all right? The energy, the fire, the light has been lit within you. And like I said, it's that change within you as a person that is going to make the difference, right? There are going to be ups and downs in life. There's going to be moments where things are dull and quiet and not moving, and there's moments where things take off. But your energy, your ability to handle the circumstances in life is paramount for you actually getting to the success you want. This drive, this, you know, thing that, you know, you have passion for, being able to have that, you know, inner power yourself is what's going to be able to allow you to carry yourself through the different ups and downs of life and not get knocked off center. Okay, so we want these things, and you're like, well, why am I not seeing the success I want? Why am I not getting anywhere? Well, you are getting anywhere, but here we are in the full energy, the journeyman. You're not supposed to know everything that's going to happen. You're not supposed to know every step along the way. You know, this journey is meant to be one of discovery, one of exploration. And yes, you definitely can take practical action with the King of Pentacles to, you know, to create the reality for yourself, to have a solid plan. Definitely have a solid plan, right? You know if you take consistent action every day on something, that it will continue to grow. You know, have this, you know, ability to make practical action for yourself. But something you have to understand is there are things that are happening behind the scenes. The Seven of Swords. There are things that are going on that you don't have control of. But here's the interesting thing about this. It's not that you don't get to perceive these things. It's not like, you know, like somebody's operating in secret. It's that things are happening on a subtle level. You come into this Hierophant energy, right? The Hierophant to me is this energy of embodiment, right? You know, we have somebody who they're supposed to represent, you know, like the connection to divinity. Like the Hierophant has made spirituality his entire, you know, career, his entire life, his entire journey. But something to remember about the Hierophant is they're human. You're a human being. So yes, you know, you're going to have, you know, things that happen in life, and, you know, you're going to have your ups and downs, you're going to make mistakes. But that doesn't mean that you're not on the path, right? You embody this, but you don't have to hold yourself to this super, super strict standard, right? Next up, I have the Queen of Cups, all right? This is that intuitive energy, right? I'm already getting this connection to the divine, right? You have this connection to your higher source. You have this connection to your guides, you know, your higher power, however you see that, and that brings you some sort of an intuition, right? And that moves us into the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is the, you know, the magician of the court cards. She has the ability to create her reality, to manifest from seemingly from nothing, right? You know, she's out here in this desert, but she's got the sunflowers growing all around her. She's got her cat, her magic, her ability to create reality. And I'm looking at the three of these cards together. And what I'm understanding here is that you are grounding down some higher awareness, or you're bringing it out from within yourself, right? Your connection to your higher power, to your divinity, is giving you intuition in which you can act on to manifest your reality. And that's what I'm saying when I say, the Seven of Swords here doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have to know what's going on. The information is there. It's going to come to you through your intuition. So it is being revealed to you. It's not just, like that, oh, here's a secret thing and I'm not going to tell you what's going on. Because ultimately, it does have to come into form, right? Into some sort of a grounded, more practical day-to-day experience, but where we have this experience of the magical and the divine, in our life, right? This connection, our intuition guiding us on how to take action to manifest. Okay. And, this is the part that none of us want to hear, but here it is. The Knight of Pentacles. You got to take it one step at a time. Each day, show up. Take the next step. You get that intuitive hit, you take the next step. The next day, you get another intuitive hit, you take the next step. And the next day, say you don't get any intuition. Cool, sit there for a little bit. It's okay to have patience. It's okay to enjoy the scenery and be along for the ride, to be along for the path. And we get this temptation to just kind of ignore what we already have, the blessings, right? This Four of Cups. You have this individual here, he's got this. You've got something is, forming some sort of fruit, some sort of, ships coming in. You see these things, but there is another blessing that you have at the moment, but you don't see it, right? This is that behind the scenes type of the thing. But here's the thing about this. This cup isn't way back here or hidden behind the individual sitting here at this tree. It's right next to him. So something that you've been waiting on, some next step, some, manifestation, some sort of, something working out. The thing that you feel like that you asked for that you didn't get, you have it. It's right here. So much closer than you think. So much closer than you think. The Ten of Wands, the end of the journey, the burden, you've been carrying so much with you, right? If you're the journeyman, these staves are the knowledge, the wisdom, the skills, the product, whatever it is you're offering. You've got so much of it and you want to share it with others, right? And you feel like maybe you're carrying this burden by yourself, but something to remember is that there's this little town right here, this little village. You are so much closer than you think. Even if you think you know how close you are, you're closer than you think. All right? And the thing is, when you get there, when you get to this completion, this world energy, when the thing has, not have you just only learned the lessons, but now it's manifested, you've got, fruition, you've got some sort of success. When you get to town, right, the blindfolds come off, the limitations come off. You know that you don't have limitations, right? When we think of the Eight of Swords, you'd have the blindfolded woman. She's bound up, but she can take the bindings off. She can take the blindfolds off. Because we have this card in reverse right now, or you're going to know, the blindfold's going to fall off. The bindings are going to fall off. Any restrictions that you feel like you have faced, anything that's inhibiting you or feels like it's getting in the way and fighting against you having your success and your prosperity, is going to fall away. And when that falls away, you're going to really realize that you have so much potential, so many possibilities. The world is at your fingertips. And it's not even anything could happen. It's anything I want can happen. You're going to go from certain things in my manifestation are coming true and certain things are not, to, okay, now I can make this happen. I can make all the things that I asked for, all the things that I'm building for come true. That limitation's not there. You just have to make it a little bit further. Just get to town. You're so close. All right? And we have this King of Wands, right? You have the passion. You know how to direct it. It's in the mature Knight of Wands, right? You know how to take your energy and focus it and decide where you want to put that energy into, right? And because you have the ability to focus instead of just going off in any direction like the Knight would, your reality is assured because this is what you're putting your effort into. This is where you're putting your focus, your energy, your thoughts. But something to remember is you want to be open, right? The King of Wands here, he's got his hand open. He's expecting what he's created for himself, his manifestation, to come into reality. You want to switch into this energy of expectation, not of seeing what will or won't come. You want to get into this expectation energy, this saying, no, all of it's coming because this is what I asked for. And what you asked for is wealth. You asked for generational wealth. You asked for community. You asked for having enough to share, for having enough to where you and the people that you care about will never lack. You are asking for that, right? And the thing is, there is a certain amount of this coming true, but we are in the energy of the moon, right? When we're in the moon, things appear to be different than they are. Maybe something appears larger, maybe something appears smaller. And the issue here is more about these proportions, right? You know, if you're expecting this Ten of Pentacles, this wealth, and then you don't have that appearing as immediately, it's a matter of perception. It's a matter of, like, does it really reflect in our inner mind the outer reality? And you have that nagging voice that says, you can't do it, or just stick with what you know. But here you are, you're this little Piscean creature that the voices and the distractions, they're yapping away, and you're just making your way up the trail. Don't mind me sneaking past. You have some things that maybe, like I said, are giving you some difficulty. Maybe you have the doubts. Maybe you have people telling you can't do it. Or, maybe it's just your own subconscious voice. But if you just take the little actions, even if they don't seem like they're going to get you to where you're going, they will, because you are sneaking past these nagging voices, right? You have this thing that's already growing, the Empress, right? She's pregnant. You have something that is almost ready to be born. You have the destination so close to you. And when you get there, there's this celebration. There are all those that you connected to, all the community that you're building, all the friends, the support, it's all there. You get into town, and you make it, and it's a celebration. Things are they really take off, because this is where you're going to create the structure for yourself. The Four of Pentacles right now isn't representing greed. It's not representing that miser energy. I'm seeing this castle, the structure. You are creating the new thing for yourself. So here's the thing. You asked for this. You think you have this, right? You think you asked for a lot, and you think you have a little bit, but you're so close. You are so close to having the thing you asked for. And I'm not talking about like, oh, here's a plot of land for the castle. I mean, maybe you are actually looking to create a new home for yourself. No, the castle's there. The reality, the blessings, the structure that is going to support you for the rest of your life is there. All right, friend. I hope this reading was encouraging. I hope you feel ready to just take the next step. Have some patience with yourself. If this reading was valuable for you, go ahead and leave a like for me. drop me a comment. Don't know to comment, you can leave me a sunflower. That's a spirit guide of mine that'll tell me that you see me, and that'll tell the algorithm you want my content to be, pushed out some more. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Head inside, find a video that resonates with you, and if you don't find a video that resonates with you, you can go to my community section. I've got a pinned post where you can ask me a question, and I will make a reading for you. All right, friend, I'll see you in the next one.